Anne, why did you choose to participate in the TPAS research?
I wanted to get involved with all the engagement that is going to take place. I wanted to be, I'd like to be part of Freebridge, be at the heart of the business and help make all the improvements alongside the teams.
I think it's really important that somebody that works at Freebridge that is really passionate about making a difference to the tenants and to people that work at Freebridge. It was important for me to be able to have my say in that forum and see if I could influence any decisions or help with any decisions that maybe the board or Freebridge will make to help us engage with the tenants better.
Well, when I was with Norwich City Council, I was always funding on behalf of a lot of my neighbours because too nervous to talk on phones to the council. They felt that the council was intimidating. And I was always on their behalf to help them out, getting things arranged. And when I moved here to retire for the rest of my life, I thought to myself, well, you got problems because you asked me for help.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm going to be the rest of my life, I want it to go as smoothly as possible for the whole time. And if I help you solve where the problems are, therefore you can fix them, and my life will be better all around, and so will yours.
And were your expectations for the TPAS research, was it delivered?
I think the positive outcome was that it got tenants speaking to each other.
Yeah, because it got better every interview we had.
Yeah.
First I was nervous and thinking, I've never done this sort of thing before. Will they listen to what I'm saying? Will they care? But I felt in each one they cared, but also they're going to do something, and that gave me hope for the whole future here.
I think during the 3 sessions that we did, yes, you got to put your point across and you got to make sure that it wasn't all one-sided. I think some of it could have been slightly better with how they presented it back to us, with how it was going to look, because obviously we had lots of questions of what necessarily Freebridge was going to do afterwards. So I think the people that would have been on the panel didn't have some of those questions answered. So yes, we know TPAS are going to present that to the board, but obviously everyone that sat there were keen to know, okay, well, what's going to happen? So we're all left wondering, well, is everything we've said going to help? Or is it just going to be ignored? I think that's a lot of what the tenants felt as well, that we wanted to know it is going to be impactful and that Freebridge are going to do something with that information.
Taking into consideration everything that was discussed and all the ideas that were thrown around about how to get involved, how to organise engagement and things, what ways do you personally feel that you would like to get involved moving forwards?
Well, there's a few there. I mean, one is you got to get people on the knocking on doors. Like you used to. Norwich City Council do this every 6 months at least.
Okay.
Average every 6 months they went around all the houses. So they actually had a housing like what's called like a little small building that ever around the city. So instead of going to City Hall, people could literally walk down the streets to a small building and talk to someone about problems, because you can't do it here because you don't own the buildings around everywhere. But if you start knocking on doors, that's the first start. Communication with the client is important, because if someone took the time off work and they took the whole day and they went the whole day and he's not turned up, well, he's not going to turn up at all, like I say, at 4 o'clock, and you should text them straight away. I mean, if you know someone's sick or can't make it to a client, tell them straight away, because at least they don't get so upset. I'm
happy and willing to do anything that will help, obviously, our tenants sustain their tenancies, because obviously that's what's key to my role, and I'm happy to take part in anything going forward with TPAS or with Freebridge to improve the working relationship that we have with our tenants.
I would like to work with all the teams, shadow all the teams.
In Freebridge?
In Freebridge.
Okay.
And give a tenant's point of view or a tenant's suggestions. Also, I'd like to have discussion groups with tenants to have their point of view and to encourage them to get involved, because things, as we're all saying to the tenants, everything will change. But it's going to take time and it can't happen without them.
The easy answer is any way I can. I'm very keen on building community, and part of that, of course, is the community housing. As I was saying earlier, we had a little party on Sunday, which was quite well attended by local residents for a small close. And it's that type of thing. It's building a community makes people think about where they live. They think about other people near where they live, and there's less likely to be problems because everyone's looking out for each other, and that's
Very much so, yeah.
that's part of community housing as well. It's important that the housing providers are involved and know what the residents, what their tenants think, and what the residents' expectations are.
Do you feel that this existing framework would allow that to happen, or do you feel that, from the insider perspective, that this framework needs to perhaps change to reflect different needs of different people moving forwards?
It potentially probably does need to change a bit, because even though I'm somebody that works at Freebridge and has access to Freenet, I wouldn't necessarily know all members of the board. We don't necessarily know what they're communicating, what they are communicating, or what they're not communicating. So if that's like that for somebody that works in Freebridge that has everything fully laid out, access to her, that's not what's there for the tenants.
Well, I only moved into Kings Lynn about 6 months ago.
Okay.
But from what I understand, from what I hear from other people, they don't feel that their voices are heard. They don't feel, a lot of them aren't aware of the framework that exists even. So at the moment, the framework, it's okay, but it could be a lot better.
And in terms of other ways for people to get involved, because I'm just sort of, you're talking about how people speak on behalf of tenants. How can we get from the conversations that you were having with other tenants in the TPAS, what other ideas were coming out in terms of communicating and engaging? Did they have, we've got the out and abouts.
For me, for instance, I can't just get down to Kings Lynn easily.
Yeah.
A lot of people have pensions on your houses. Could you not hire some sort of community hall sometimes, occasionally,
Yeah.
to have a meeting with you, just play tea and cake, and they can walk down to the city hall, whatever, going places they can get to easily.
Yes.
And that way they ain't got to try and get all the way down 30 miles to Kings Lynn, and some people are like big cities, even big pensioners, and you better get to the community better. It's all about getting to the people, actually telling them and asking questions.
The most important thing and the key to all of this is communication. That has to change. That is the most important element to all of this. If Freebridge does not get the communication right, it's a non-starter.
More ways of two-way communication. At the moment, there are people, a lot of people are actually afraid to approach Freebridge to say, this is happening, because they're worried about their tenancy. They're worried that if they make a fuss, then that Freebridge are going to throw them out, basically. And so there needs to be some kind of assurance that actually you can talk to us. So developing and opening better communication.
Yeah, there's lots of ideas. Some of it I think is probably geared up more to the younger generation that perhaps wouldn't suit a percentage of our tenants. So I definitely think there needs to be a mix. So like going again with Facebook, going again with the magazine, because some of our tenants won't look at that. So there's definitely something that we need to do about that. And I think it's really important that we do some sort of visit that would be either an annual inspection or whatever, so we can pick up those people that aren't interested in reading these things, because a lot of the cases that I get allocated are because somebody's raised something's not quite right, or somebody's complained about a good garden or concerned. And usually when we go into these properties, there's lots of things going on where there's safeguarding issues or things that we can potentially help those people with that have not been noticed or come across for years. So there needs to be something in place, in my opinion, where we can capture some of these a lot sooner, because some of these people, like I've said, have been left for a long time without the support that they need. And for me, that's really important that we get to some of these people quicker.
Do you feel that by offering a multi-layer of engagement opportunities, that this would be able to capture those silent voices and those people that may have slipped or have slipped the net? Do you feel that by doing that?
Yeah, so obviously I've just took part in the Out and About in Snettersham this week, and I've done all the previous two that since I've been with the business, and they do work. So doing more like that and doing more community work where you can invite people in, because some tenants are interested in coming in to have a chat with Freebridge. But going on the door knocking and doing that a little bit more frequently. So I know it's time consuming. I know it probably generates for Freebridge a lot more work. But even just the road I did, I think we probably flagged out of 25 houses, at least 8 people that needed some form of support or some next help. But they never would have been captured because they just
They'd slip the net.
Yes,
We
some of them don't have
identified
internet
too.
or anything. So that's key, I think, for getting to everybody.
The group that did come together to work with TPAS and yourself and the other tenant panel members, would you like to see them coming together again? Do you see there being a benefit of that group coming together again?
Yes, I think there is a benefit of having this group together, and the group are quite keen to be involved and stay within the group. They see this as a way forward, a way of getting their message across.
I definitely think some of the people on the group would definitely make a difference going forward if the group could continue.
I'll stay it to the day I die if I can. I mean, if you keep on doing it, anything you do, I'll come down because, again, whatever I can do can help all of us. And the people I was with are friendly and nice and comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? The staff you have around there are wonderful. I mean, that's a question. We need to do a lot more of people seeing, people thinking you're not some sort of big corporation like too frightened to talk to, but you're friendly and nice and cooperative and you want to help.
Anything that you would like to add?
I think another thing that they need to do in this is to, instead of just engaging with people in the town, doing fairs and things for children throughout the year, nothing ever happens in the villages at all. And I think that's another very important point to make. But I'm really excited about this. I'm very positive about all this, and I think it will happen, but it'll happen slowly. But they need to listen to residents. They need to hear tenants.
And
Act upon. And act upon. And that's the key to the whole thing.
thank you.
You're welcome.